Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Hello farmers, welcome back to the Pacific Northwest. A green Pacific Northwest. It's the second day of spring. And we're 44 grand in the hole, and we owe $1.4 million, and yeah, so everything's looking up. But today, we're going to start seeding some fields, and it's going to be wheat and barley, two of the fields. We're going to put wheat in that one field over there, and barley in that field over there. Reason being, last episode we bought a lot of chickens, and I did some calculations, and I'm not sure if I got enough food for them until we're ready for harvest. Kind of a problem. Not too much of a problem, but kind of a problem. But first things first, let's hop in our beautiful T8 that we also bought last episode. I've also taken care of, in between episodes, of course, the animals I've taken care of, and the bioprocessing plant. As you can see, we got 25,000 liters of artificial fertilizer up here. And also, we got a full load of fuel up in our tank up here. Now, the interesting thing about that is, as you can see, I also got a full load of fertilizer here, because when I brought the trailer, I didn't know how much these hold up here for storage. So obviously I had 31,000 liters, and yeah, that takes 25, we take 6, that's 31,000 liters. Anyways, the fuel tank up here can only hold, I don't want to say can only hold, but holds 5,000 liters of fuel, and that's it. And the fuel tank down by the cows, I don't know how much that holds. I didn't hit the limit on that. I think I'm at like 16,000 liters, so that's kind of interesting, I think. So yes, we're on wheat, so we're going to plant wheat to begin with. The ground is warm enough for that, so we'll get ahead on that. The price on the sheep wool and the silage, the wool right now is crap. I mean, it's still not bad. It's like 8,000 something, but it's in the red, because this is the time of the year where the wool really starts to skyrocket. Maybe we'll get another great demand like we did last season, which would be great. Holy crap, I just about took all that seed. I hope I have enough seed. Anyways, if not, you know, we'll just have to buy some. And the silage right now is sticking between that 420 and 460. So yeah, at some point we may get to that. Actually, I want to start over in this corner. It's a little tight over in this corner. Ah, so good not to have that 3-meter wide seed roll. Alright, let's lower the seed roll. Turn her on. So right now, these two fields are the ones we're just going to plant today. The field over by the chickens, I'm going to wait a day or two until the ground temperature rises up a little bit, and we'll see what to do at that point. But we do have almost 1,700 eggs in the chicken coop. Now this is what I want to see, how the T8 hauls this uphill while it's running. And here I believe we will use GPS just to keep nice straight lines. We will narrow the width of this just a little bit. Because sometimes it makes it wider than it actually is. Like now, it seems so 8 miles an hour uphill. I didn't check to see what the speed of this Seadrill is. Still seems a little bit wide. Yeah, we'll call that good. So it looks like the speed of the Seadrill is 12. And we are, what, 200 horsepower, somewhere around there, over the recommendation for this? That's why we needed a bigger tractor. And that hill's not even like the steepest hill around here. Alright, now we'll do another headland. Whoa, 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 okay. Gotta get used to the turning radius on these things. So this is the first time we get to seed our new one big field. So hopefully we can harvest this wheat in the fall, just as our chickens need food. If not, we can always switch the chickens over to like breeding. Oh, wrong way. I knew that. There we go. Except when I get down to this end, this field's not completely square. So I'll take care of that probably when I get done with the field itself. I also had a comment on one of my previous episodes that I could feed the cows hay and that counts as grass, and I did try that off camera, and no, it doesn't, because it does show in the animals page that it is kind of weird that hay counts as silage. Hay and silage are 1 bar, but when you go to the sheet, hay and grass are 1 bar. I don't know. I can't figure that out myself, but you know, it is what it is. I actually might be able to do 2 headlands here, but I think this can turn sharp enough. But it feels good to be putting some money back into the ground. I like having this one big field. That is really nice. I should also probably talk about our plans for this season. One, I want to buy the Big Chrome M. That's almost that's like $180,000 to $200,000. That's going to help us mow the big field down below. It's the reason why, yeah, I got the equipment to do it. But the Krone is much wider, and when that spits out the grass at the back, it's already windrowed into one pile, so that'll save a lot of time. So that's one thing. I'm also looking forward to maybe buying the big field behind our grass field down there. I think it was $700,000 for that field. And then also I want to buy the 2 grass fields over by the sheep so we can make hay. hay, we're barely getting by in the hay. And the cows are going to reproduce, sheep are going to reproduce, they're going to require more hay. So those two grass fields over there, and those two fields together would be $100,000. We should be able to get that kind of money. Also need to replace our wash station down there and put down a sell point so we can sell some fertilizer from our bioprocessing plant. I do have a fuel cell point as well. We just haven't had to use it yet because I'm trying to stockpile some fuel from the farm still. So a lot of big plans for the farm this season. And after we get that stuff, I feel, yeah, I'm still going to want more equipment, but that's the equipment I feel like, in my personal opinion, I like to have right now. And another trailer would be great as well. If we get money for a trailer, a bigger trailer, that would be good. We'll leave the Joskin up here to eventually feed the sheep and the chickens. But it feels really good to be putting seed into our fields because, yeah, it's kind of fun having this debt problem, but also we're also at the stage like you just can't like, oh, I do want to buy this today and we'll make an episode of it. I can't borrow the money. Yeah, I could cheat money in if I wanted to, but that's not what I'm going to do. That's not what we're doing here in this farm. Also, I should also mention in looking at the animals sheet, the cows have already produced pretty close to like 90,000 liters of milk again. So they're doing rather well. Just that second day of spring, there's no grass in the pastures just yet. I think I'm going to go over and take care of that little chunk over there so we can call this side of the field done. But it's nice to be using the seed drill. The T8 seems to be, I do like New Holland tractors. And I've always, I think on every map I always played in, I always have the T8. Different variances of it. Like on my last map, the T8 was pretty much at the BGA to compact the chaff. Had wheel weights on it and all that fun stuff. I didn't have the bigger horsepower engine in it though. So I think what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to get working on this field a little bit, and I'll bring it back when we get near the other end, like I always do. And we'll see how we're doing along with seed. Make sure we get enough seed for the two fields, but looks like I'm going to have to make some more seed at the Seed Master at some point. I have to figure that out because we're low on storage. But I'll see you in a second. Well, when I bought this T8, and I saw the horsepower we could have, I said, well, that should be more than enough. I thought, well, maybe it's overkill, but I'd rather go overkill than be underkill. But you look at this seed drill, it should, the cruising speed is 12 for seeding, and you can see going up the hill, we're down to 7, so it's like a 40% drop. So I'm kind of glad we went with the T8 with a bigger horsepower. Not that there's anything wrong going up the hill at 7 miles an hour like that, but if we went with something that had 100 less horsepower, you know, it could be doing like 3 miles an hour up that hill or something. So the T8 is going to do just fine, because look at some of that hill right there, right above the top of the cab. Go up and down that field. Can you imagine doing that hill? It's going to drop down quite a bit. Oh, I turned too late because I was, well, I was talking while trying to play, which is very difficult. So, these two fields that we're seeding today, when we harvest them in the fall, I don't really plan on selling this harvest at all. This is pretty much going to be to help feed our chickens, to make more seed, and eventually feed our pigs. The problem with the pigs is their base food is corn. We don't have a corn header. And they also require some kind of root crop like potato / sugar beet, which requires a whole bunch of stuff as well. I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I'll let the farmer with the big field down there kind of play our hand, maybe. There we go. Let's fold this up. So yeah, the field that I'm thinking about buying is this one right here. Did he plant anything in it yet? Well, he hasn't planted nothing in it yet. So if he plants like sugar beet in it, no, that's fine. But here's our one nice big wheat field. And it should have fertilized it as well. It did, it did, it did. So now we're going to head on over here, do some barley. Maybe. And really, we're kind of done in the field for a little bit. Top over here. No trees to cut. Nothing like that. That feels golden. Hopefully it'll be golden in a few months, right? Sneak in here. Y to switch that. There we go. Barley. Unfold that. I am going to do a headland here, I do believe. I don't think it's really too necessary, but yeah, so that's our plan right now. Of course, you know, plans are going to change. And I'm glad we didn't use as much seed. I can remember how much seed we actually used. Wasn't paying no attention before. Turn that back off. Try to make some tight corners here. Alright, I don't want offset, course set. There we go. I think we're pretty much all set here and there. Put some barley down. So this is a season I was kind of hoping to repay all the debt, which we still could in a way, even though we want to buy all the stuff, because we're still going to be cutting grass in that big field down there, and we know that produces just about 1 million liters of grass, and we're going to do that twice this year, so we got 2 million liters of quote-unquote silage to sell at the biogas plant. The BGA. And then we got the bioprocessing plant that's going to be producing stuff from the liquid digestate that we're going to get from the BGA, and we can sell that at the sell point. And also we got all that wonderful gas that the processing plant can do. Yeah, gotta do another headland here, I do believe. But really for just equipment that I want to get this season, it's the big Chrome M. I would say Chrome. It's Chrome. Yeah. And of course another trailer. We'll try to keep the Joskin trailer up here. And I may up buying some pigs anyways and just deal with the low health and don't worry about the root crop. And the corn is something that we can do. Maybe I'll take the job of seeding that big field down there ourselves and make it corn. So when we go buy it in the fall, hopefully. I know I say they want to do more field work for people, but... Or, I mean, I could plant corn over there, too. I don't think a corn header is going to be too expensive. Headers. Of course, let's go down here and then back up. So this is the one I usually use, and it's 52,000. CR1090, yeah, because it does sunflowers and corn. Ouch. I mean, I guess we could always rent it. That's 9 meters. That's not what I want. 9 meters, and this is 12? Yeah. So for an extra $6,000, I'd buy the one that's 3 meters wider. So that's kind of the plan for the farm this year. Kind of. See how it goes. I mean, the chickens are going to help out great as it is. The one thing I probably should try to figure out is for how much we're feeding them for grain and how many eggs they produce. Now I'm trying to figure out if it's actually, you know, it sounds great when you say, oh yeah, we got, you know, this many eggs and we make that much money. But you are feeding them a lot of grain that you could sell. That's why I keep trying to give them wheat, because wheat's the cheapest grain, I think. But I think we may sell some of their eggs today just to get rid of some of this debt. Although it doesn't matter, because when I sleep we're going to lose 10 grand anyways. Like I said, it just feels good just to be putting some grain back into our farm ground. It's nice to have, quote unquote, our big fields up here now, instead of all these small ones. But we also got to we got a few more days to put our final stage of fertilizer on our 2 grass fields. And like I said, we got that one field over by the chickens. We got to seed that as well. You know, I just may do that with corn, to be honest with you. So we can probably look into buying some pigs. I like taking care of the animals. I mean, I do like the farming aspect of it as well, but when you play seasons, as you know, there's a lot of days in between where you're just sitting there going, alright, what can I do? And if you don't have animals to take care of, you know. Now it all depends on when do we start selling some animals, that's the question. That's why we got the animal trailer. The big one. We have saved us a little bit of money when we bought some cows and we bought some chickens, you know, the transportation fee. But you got to do a lot to repay for that trailer, because you are paying a fee every day for it to have it. And really, the pigs is the one that you're going to probably sell the most. So definitely got to look into getting into some pigs. Even if it's only 20 pigs. But we're going to have to wait till at least fall because we don't have the grain to begin with. Even if I bought them now, I don't have enough grain for the chickens and the pigs. Nor do we have the money to go to the store and keep buying pig food. So that's going to have to wait. And I'm glad the seed and the seed, the seed and seed drill's not going down too much because, yeah, I don't want to have to buy any seed. I thought that was lots of seed that we had up here in storage, but I'm trying to remember if I put some seed down in the bottom storage. Because I thought I had plenty up here. I didn't realize this horse held that much seed and fertilizer. But it's also nice to be actually seeding fields ourselves, because when we had the original 3-meter wide seed drill, I'm like, I seeded one field and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done with that. That's the first time I ever used a seed drill that small. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think an FS13, when I first started playing, I was like, okay, so this is the way it is. And I'll never forget when it came up on Steam. The FS13 was having a sale because I didn't know that FS15 was shortly coming out, and I think it was like $5. So I was like, yeah. I've seen some people play this and says really like it, and I'm like, well, I'll give it a whirl. I do like some simulators. And really the first hour I played it, I'm like, why would anyone play this? And after my mind changed another hour after that, I gave it a try another day, and I was like, alright, I get it. This is my style. Once I started watching other videos and learning how to actually run a farm. Well, I shouldn't say I know how to, I kind of know how a farm works, but as you know, game mechanics go. You learn things when you learn some game mechanics. Just like when FS15 came out, you learn pretty quickly that, well, if you don't remember, when FS15 first came out, trees was the thing you wanted to sell. You wanted to cut down trees and just bring it to the sawmill. The sell point. I mean, people were just actually came up with the idea, well, let's go to the, you know how you can buy trees and plant them? People were buying trees, planting them right next to the sawmill, and just dragging them to the sell point. Because you would buy the tree, I think they were like, what, let's just say 8,000, and they would sell for like 20. So people were just buying a whole bunch of trees, cutting them down, and dragging them with a tractor and a fork. Like maybe, like from here to the middle of the grass field next to there. And they were just making money, and then Giants actually took care of that problem. But then everyone realized silage was what to sell, and now in FS17 everyone realized wool is the way to go. Sheep are real easy to take care of. I mean, grass and water. Now we should have enough seed to do the other field by the chickens. And I am kind of thinking of, rather than me plant corn down at the big field and have to transport the corn all the way up here, I'll just let him plant whatever he plants. And if he plants corn, maybe I'll still plant corn ourselves and we'll just have a stockpile of corn. Because we can leave the corn down there and put the corn into the pig food mixer. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling so much better getting some seed into the ground in our fields. We are in season 3 and the farm is starting to really take form. Alright, done with the GPS, done with this. Yes. So it's all cultivated. Yeah, all cultivated. I'm seeing blue. It's all fertilized. And if we go to here, yeah, this is growing, obviously. So we got barley and wheat for the chickens and the quote-unquote pigs at some point. Yeah, so we could plant corn here. So when is a good temperature to plant the corn? Ground temperature's got to be 45, so we're a ways off for that. I would like to do, I mean, another good reason to do wheat and barley is I may have planted the barley too soon, but I think we'll be fine. We get 24 hours at least. That was kind of, ground temperature better go up again. I hope I don't screw that up like I did the first season. Alrighty then. Yeah, so what was I thinking here? Yeah, so corn, gotta wait until the ground temperature is 45. I thought wheat and barley was the same temperature. I was wrong. But yeah, I hope they're ready to harvest here because we got enough chicken feed to bring us, I think here, maybe? It's either here or here, I can't remember. So yeah. So hopefully in a few days I can find out what he plants down there. But we're done this field for a while, both these fields, so we'll shut the gates. We gotta wait for them to hit the first growth stage and we can start fertilizing them. Fertilizer we got plenty of. Feels good, man. Let's hop into our beautiful cab of the T8. The only thing I kind of wish, and I don't know if this is going to happen in 19 or not, is that you can I'm looking for traffic. I got the traffic turned off. That's brilliant. That you can unload like your Seadrill. I'm going to save the game. I'm getting a lot of glitchiness here. Sometimes when it does that, it's almost telling you like, hey, I might crash. Our beautiful T8's all dirty. Now in 15, I used a lot of the T9s. I don't know what it is about the T9. I'd rather have the case. The T9 I'm not too much of a fan of. I kind of like to have the bigger John Deeres because, you know, green's my favorite color. But I've really yet to find a really big John Deere that I'm a huge fan of. I mean, there's some out there that look nice, but, you know. As you can see, this gas tank up here holds 5,000, and the one below, like I said, I have like 12,000 in it or something like that. We're going to take a trip down there shortly anyways. Alright. My backing up skills, my driving forward skills, driving all together. And, you know, we'll just park this somewhere. I mean, we do got some seed here, so we got more than enough for this season. Let's head on up here. We're going to come up here and grab some chicken eggs. Yeah, so we're almost at 1,700. So yeah, they're doing well for food and water right now. Thank you, ladies. Let's just teleport to here. Alright, to here. Do I have C down here? I got tons of seed down here. Alright, I thought I had lots of seed, but then I was like, okay, so I put it down here for some reason. I mean, that's fine. I got some fertilizer down here for the grass field. Yeah, so this fuel tank down here holds, well, I don't know how much it holds. We haven't hit the limit yet, so. I'm coming over here just to see the pig food mixer. It should be barley and wheat, then like corn, and then a root crop, and then some, like, yeah, there we go. Sunflower, canola, soybean kind of a thing. So those are what we need, which is basically all the food that they need. If you look at their food chart, corn, wheat, barley, canola, sunflower, soybeans, yeah, so it's like that. And like someone mentioned that if you feed hay to your cows, that counts as grass. But if you look at their food chart, silage and hay is on one bar. But if you look at the, like you say, you look at the sheep, hay and grasses counts as the same. But here, hay counts as silage, or silage counts as hay. Grass is in its own, is on its own. But I did try it off cam just to see. I didn't want to waste a bale of hay because getting kind of short on hay, so I put it in there and it went right towards silage. Didn't do anything with the grass. So on different maps, it could be different, maybe. I'm not sure. It's just like I've seen so many different variances of the Power Food or Total Mix Rations mixer. The map I played on, it wasn't hay, it was just grass. So it was silage, straw, grass. Didn't count hay, it only counted grass. So do I have any seed here? None. Alright. So where are we here? I can't remember if this was 600 or 700. 625. Well, he would pay me $8 grand to seed it, and I could sit here. The thing is, let's see, I'm just trying to see if it does tell you in here. So like if you want to buy a field but you want a certain grain in it, it's not going to tell you here what you're planting. So what you do is you'd have to start it. And you don't know what you're going to be planting until you hook up. So he wants me to do barley, which I could care less for. So if you don't want to plant barley, all you have to do is just leave the field. Oh, did it tell me in the when I was in the menu what I was going to be planting? Yeah, mission failed. Alright. Did he plant it himself, or did he plant it himself? No, must be just gotta wait a while, come back later. Alright, be that way. We're gonna come over to here. And we're gonna take a little jog. We're gonna go sell some eggs. Get our exercise in for the day. It's not gonna totally take care of our money problem, but you know. The banker again is looking at me cross-eyed. I mean, he looks at me, he tells me, he says, yeah, I know you're putting equity back into the farm, but it's not helping out the bank too much. And I told him my plan, and the bank keeps saying, okay. They're going along with it. So just to reconfirm this, how many eggs have we got? Like 16 something? 1689. So it's basically almost, yeah. I mean, that's nice. It is. But when I wake up tomorrow morning on third day of spring, we'll be 36 grand in the hole. And if we look here, though, the cows are up to 100,000 liters of milk in the tank. They're building up with this again. I keep hitting M for map. That's another game completely. But let's just, I want to take a quick trip over to our bioprocessing plant. Just to see what we have, quote unquote, in storage. Because I did drop off a whole bunch of stuff here. Fertilizer, 32,000 liters of fertilizer, 18,000 liters of fuel, and almost 65,000 liters of liquid fertilizer, which we could sell if I could put down the sellable place point thing, but I don't have the cash for that. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on the wool. I mean, 8,000 is not a bad price, but at this time of the year, it sucks. And of course, the silage at some point. That may be the next episode, wherever the price is or not. We're going to have to clean out those bins for cutting the grass in the first day of summer. So I got 4 days for either a great demand, basically sometime in the spring. So I got 4 more days in the spring to get rid of that silage, which is not that big of a deal. I mean, there's some silage there. I might as well just uncover it. Yeah, so we got 974,000 liters there. And, well, 560,000 liters there. So you can, you know, start doing some math yourself if you like to figure out how much we could make. That's why I'm kind of waiting for a great demand, but you can only wait for so long, and it's going to be nice to get that. That's a lot of money just sitting there, and at some point you just got to sell it. And usually what happens with me is, not lately on this map, lately I've been getting kind of lucky, but usually on my other map I used to play with, I would sell all that silage, wait, finally I said I'm going to sell the silage, because I would have all 5 clogged up. I spent hours, or I did conveyor belts. I had a whole bunch of conveyor belts going. It would lag. If you went to the BGA when they're all going, it kind of lag out a little bit, but yeah, I had them all going. I'd sell all 5, and like, you know, the next day it's like, great demand for silage. I'm like, really? All right. But that's going to do it for us today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. I appreciate you watching as always, and I'll see you next time on the Pacific Northwest. But until then, have a good one.